The moment I found out my brother was the tragic, manipulative ex in some real-life romance drama, he was in the bathroom trying to kill himself. I didn't hesitate. I kicked the door open. "Go downstairs and grab me a bag of Flamin' hot Cheetos," I commanded. "Get some cool ranch Doritos too. And a Coke." Leo froze mid-motion. "But I'll count to 3, I warned. He scrambled out of the tub. Okay. The Cheetos, regular or lime?" A flood of text suddenly appeared in my vision. LOL, I thought this tragic ex was supposed to be some brooding mastermind. Turns out he's terrified of his sister. That's the power of a big sister right there. Haha, this villain actually knows her snack preferences. He's done this routine 1,000 times. The bathroom door now hung crookedly on its hinges, a casualty of my kick. Leo tried to hide the fruit knife behind his back. I leveled a glare at him, dug a $20 bill out of my pocket, and shoved it into his hand. $5 for your trouble. Not a cent more. "Can't you just order delivery?" he muttered, his lip quivering. "Delivery is unhealthy," I shot back. He blinked at me, clearly unsure how to respond, grabbed a towel, and shuffled out, muttering, "Spicy Cheetos really are top-tier nutrition, huh?" Once he was gone, my eyes fell on the knife he'd left behind.
Clean.
I remembered lounging on the couch a few minutes earlier, binge-watching a show, when lines of text had floated before me. "Your sister has no idea what's coming. Better move fast. Your brother's about to do something reckless. He's the tragic villain in a romance story. He's losing it because the female lead is with someone else. But she's always hated her ungrateful little brother. Forget it, Kristen. Run now, or you'll get dragged down when he falls." I blinked. Wait, what? This was reading like one of those trashy online novels I'd laughed at before. And now I was supposedly in danger too? Nope. Not happening. I'm destined for a long life. I exercise, sip milk tea like it's medicine, and even whisper little blessings over my rice before eating. Early death was out of the question. Leo returned with my snacks, placing them carefully next to me. They were out of Coke, so here's a yogurt drink instead. He started tiptoeing back to the bathroom. "Make dinner," I called without looking up. "Orange chicken and sweet and sour ribs." His shoulders drooped. With a heavy sigh, he trudged toward the kitchen, muttering under his breath. Half an hour later, the table was piled high with all my favorite dishes. Leo hovered nearby, clearly nervous. "Dinner's ready," he said. "On my way," I replied, putting aside my leftover snacks. He ate quickly, only a few bites before resting his chopsticks, his eyes locked on me as I attacked the ribs and eyed the orange chicken with no shame. House rules dictated that the younger sibling couldn't leave the table until the older one was done.
So I ate. Slowly.
My mind, however, was racing, trying to figure out how to prevent my brother from turning into the villain from this bizarre story. The pop-up commentary on my actions made me frown. Kristen's eating like a beast today. 5 dishes already gone. Wait, didn't she always complain about her brother's cooking? Why is she going slow now? Something's off. Kristen's acting really weird. I snapped without thinking. Who said Leo's cooking is bad? It's actually delicious. Immediately, I felt a hot gaze on me. When I looked up, he quickly avoided eye contact. He pushed a plate closer to me, voice slightly husky. "Glad you like it." I noticed his flushed ears and downcast eyes. A pang hit my chest. I'd been so caught up in my own life, I hadn't stopped to really see the little brother who had always been there. I blinked back the sting in my eyes and shoveled in a few more bites of rice. When I finished, Leo cleared the table with effortless precision. After tidying up, he went back to the bathroom and locked the door. I walked over and knocked. "Leo, can you take Bear for a walk? It's late, and I don't want to go alone." "Hurry." Silence. I sighed and nudged the sleeping Samoyed on the balcony with my foot. Leo had found Bear when he was 12, a tiny scrappy pup abandoned in a dumpster. Too scared to ask me if we could keep him, he spent his lunch money feeding the dog until it grew into the big, goofy creature now sprawled before me. Bear grumbled and let out a few half-hearted barks. The bathroom door creaked open, and Leo's face was unreadable as he wordlessly searched for the leash. "Come on, Bear," I called. The commentary exploded. "Villain? This is clearly the sister's most loyal dog. Framing the male lead can wait. Walking Bear is priority 1. Wait, Kristen might actually be sabotaging his plan on purpose."
Yeah.
Today's the day he's supposed to go full villain. If she can keep him occupied until midnight, maybe the hero is safe. Whether true or not, I had to try. Outside, Leo walked bare while I trailed behind, sipping fresh orange juice I'd just bought. The smell of barbecue from a nearby stall was irresistible. By the time I returned with skewers in hand, Bear was gone, and so was Leo. A pang of panic shot through me. I imagined him standing with a bleeding wrist, crying to the female lead about the hero's supposed betrayal. I was about to call him when a voice cut through the darkness. Kristen. A flickering streetlight revealed a boy with his dog. Leo held up his phone like a flashlight. I've been waiting. Let's go home. A warmth spread through me, but on the outside, I just huffed. Can't you walk any slower? Okay, he said cautiously, shortening the leash. Sorry, Bear ran too fast. He carefully aimed the phone's light at my feet, illuminating the path. By the time we cleared the dark stretch of the park, his arm must have been stiff, and he looked terrified of me. Under the yellow glow of the streetlights, he held Bear's leash in one hand and my unfinished orange juice and skewers in the other. I walked serenely beside him, gently tugging his sleeve like it was completely normal. For the next 2 hours, I dragged him around the park in endless loops until even Bear collapsed dramatically on the ground, pretending to be dead. Finally, I relented. Back home, I pointed at Bear.
He smells.
Give him a bath. Leo's dark eyes stayed fixed on me, silent and unreadable. I, on the other hand, yawned so hard my jaw nearly popped. Then I flopped onto the couch and pretended to pass out. After a few moments, he exhaled softly, put the leash away, and dragged poor Bear into the bathroom by his hind legs. When he finally emerged, the dog was fluffy, dry, and sparkling clean. That was when I pointed to a greasy spot on the carpet from my earlier snack attack. Leo, I said, my tone dripping with authority, that rug cost a fortune. Hand wash only. Don't even think about using the machine. He didn't argue. With a calm, resigned expression, he rolled up the rug and replaced it with a clean one. Moments later, I heard the rhythmic sounds of scrubbing from the bathroom. And that was how it went for the rest of the night. Under my watchful guidance, Leo mopped floors, wiped down windows, and even took down the curtains for washing. At last, when every inch of the apartment gleamed, he approached the couch where I was sprawled out. Kristen, he said quietly, I'm finished. I checked the clock, just 1 hour before midnight. No way I could let him go to bed. I bolted upright, feigning a sudden craving. I want dragon fruit, I said hoarsely. His face brightened instantly. There's some in the fridge. Wait right there, sis. I'll get it for you. As he hurried off, I frowned. There was something off about the bounce in his step, almost like he was happy. Too happy. He came back with a neatly arranged plate of dragon fruit cubes, each piece perfectly even. He looked relaxed, cheerful even, while I felt like I'd run a marathon just keeping him busy. When I didn't say anything, his smile faltered. He ducked his head, voice soft and uncertain. Kristen, the dragon fruit's ready. I also changed your sheets and lit your favorite candle. If there's nothing else, I'll get ready for bed. The comment feed came alive again. It's almost midnight, and this guy still hasn't given up on that villain arc. Well, his sister worked him like a dog. No wonder he's bitter. This must be the moment where he decides the female lead is his only escape. Kristen, think of something, fast. Pick out the seeds for me, I blurted before I could stop myself. He froze. You want me to take the seeds out? From dragon fruit. I cleared my throat and nodded solemnly. So there he sat, my brilliant, brooding little brother, perched on a stool, carefully picking out the tiny black seeds one by one. As I watched him, I noticed how much he resembled our mother. It hit me then, 10 years ago, we'd lost her to cancer. And not long after, Dad remarried. People say a new mother means a new father. In our case, it meant losing both. Within half a year, we were out on the street. I didn't realize Leo had finished until he pushed the plate toward me, smiling like a kid waiting for praise. All done. Eat while it's fresh. I took a bite and smiled. It's sweet. After I'd eaten about half, Leo stood and stretched. I'll head to bed now, he murmured. But then his phone rang. Lana. The comments flared up immediately. Oh no, the female lead's calling. Wait, this is the scene where the villain cuts his wrist and calls her to set her free, right? That's what makes her think the male lead hurt him. But he didn't do it this time, so maybe the hero's safe? Julian, that must be the male lead. The name tickled something familiar at the back of my mind. Leo stared at the caller ID for a long moment before finally answering. Instead of tears and drama, he just made harmless small talk, chatting about nothing at all. I watched the clock tick past midnight and exhaled in relief. For the first time all night, I let myself relax. After hanging up, Leo turned to me, his eyes darker than before. "We'll always be together, right?" The question came out so softly I almost thought I'd imagined it. Before I could answer, he looked away. "Good night, Kristen." He slipped into his room and closed the door. I didn't think much of it at first. Peeking through the crack, I saw the lights go out, and silence settled in.
He must have been exhausted.
Still, something in my chest twisted uneasily. So I grabbed my blanket, spread it on the floor outside his door, and lay down. If he tried to sneak out, I'd know. Half asleep, my mind wandered back 10 years. I had just been accepted into a prestigious junior high school, clutching the acceptance letter with pride, only to find my mother lying cold on the floor. Leo knelt beside her, frozen and silent. That very night, Dad brought home a new woman. She was his first love, a girl from high school who'd broken up with him over some misunderstanding. Now, they were back together. Our new aunt seemed impossibly kind. She cooked, helped Leo with homework, took him to amusement parks, and carefully applied ointment to his bruises after Dad punished him for poor grades. She bought me pretty dresses and spoke to me in the same soft tone Mom had used, telling me I was beautiful. It felt so familiar, so comforting, that we both grew to love her. Though we never called her Mom, in our hearts she already was. Then she brought home a little boy. He was about Leo's age. Dad said he was our real brother. I couldn't understand it. How could our aunt's child be our true brother? After his arrival, everything changed. Leo's room became the boys' playground. My awards were folded into paper planes and scattered across the floor. Leo spent his allowance on toys for the boy, only to have them thrown away. The boy screamed, crying for attention. Our aunt held him protectively, glaring at us with pure contempt. "He doesn't like these things. Stay away." Dad didn't intervene. Instead, he forced us to kneel all night in punishment. From that moment, I realized we had no mother, no father. We were confined to the smallest room, eating leftovers, cleaning, and doing laundry like servants. On the boys' birthdays, he was the center of the universe, dressed in fancy clothes, surrounded by presents, cakes, and flowers. Leo and I hid in a corner, feeling invisible and out of place. The following year, I became a boarding student. When winter break came, I returned home to find Leo feverish, covered in bruises, scrubbing the floor while burning with illness. Once he finished, he staggered to the kitchen to cook. I held him in my arms, begging Dad to take him to a hospital. Dad, playing with the little boy, snorted. "He stole money from your aunt and broke my son's toy. He deserves it." "No, it wasn't me," Leo whimpered, clutching my sleeve. Our aunt, admiring her manicure, glared at me. "Your brother is a delinquent. If we don't teach him now, he'll grow into a menace." That night, I took Leo to the hospital myself. While we were gone, someone threw all our clothes and belongings onto the street. Dad watched silently, his approval unspoken. I was 12. Leo was 8. From then on, I worked to support him, collecting cans, washing dishes, handing out flyers, whatever it took. Despite it all, Leo thrived under my guidance. He excelled at school, became the campus heartthrob, and managed all household chores without complaint. He was the perfect child. How could the pop-up comments label him a vicious villain? And Julian, how could he possibly be the hero everyone pitied? But I had overestimated my own endurance. When I finally woke, the sun was high in the sky. Leo's door was open. His bed was empty. Where was he? Had he snuck out while I slept, planning some mischief? I shot up and checked the bathroom. Everything was spotless. The toothbrush had toothpaste on it, the washing machine hummed with a load of laundry, and my sneakers soaked peacefully in a basin. This was nothing like the nightmare I'd imagined. Him in the tub, blood dripping, whispering Julian's name with his last breath. "Kristen." I spun around. Leo stood there with a tray of breakfast and a glass of juice, completely normal. "Wash your face quickly. Breakfast is ready." I stared at him for a moment, then brushed my teeth and joined him at the table. The freshly squeezed juice warmed my heart. He hadn't done it. He really hadn't. My intense gaze made him uneasy. "Kristen, is the juice okay? I can make a new one. Any particular flavor?" Before I could answer, the doorbell rang. Leo didn't flinch. He glanced at me, grabbed an extra set of utensils, and went to open the door. Outside, holding a bouquet of roses, stood the female lead. The moment Lana saw Leo, her eyes lit up.
Leo.
I'm here to pick you up. He didn't reply, though his ears turned bright red. I'm so sorry, Leo, Lana said, turning to me. I didn't know Julian said those things about you. Kristen, we have plans today, a special auction. Want to come? She shoved the bouquet into my arms with unabashed cheer. Leo, calm as ever, handed her a glass of juice and said, My sister's busy. She doesn't have time to play today. Drama incoming. It's over. The villain just got called ill-mannered, and now he's about to auction the female lead's private photos to frame the male lead. You villain. I'm coming for you. Kristen, do something. Sure, I'll go, I said, finishing my juice. Sounds fun. Then, casually, I added, Is this the same Julian I know? Leo froze for a moment.
Yeah.
Sis, if you don't want to come, just say so. It's fine. Stop stalling. Wash the dishes and let's go. By the time I was dressed, Leo and Lana were sitting neatly on the couch. A small wooden box rested on the coffee table. Isn't that? Lana's eyes lit up. That's the auction item, she said softly, gazing at Leo.
Ah.
So that's where he'd been hiding her private photos. On the way to the auction house, I offered the front seat to Lana and pointed to the box. Better put this in the back with me. Leo blinked, confused but compliant. Okay. During the drive, Lana chattered incessantly, telling funny stories to Leo. They really looked like a couple in love. I joined in occasionally, but my attention never left the box beside me. At the auction house, Lana excused herself to use the restroom. That was my moment. I opened the box and froze. Wait, this isn't right. The villain was supposed to have the female lead's private photos. Why is it jade earrings? He'll swap them later. Probably some cheap knockoffs from Amazon. He's always plotting. But I knew. These earrings weren't fake. They belonged to our mother. The last tangible piece she'd left us. I was dazed throughout the auction. Only when the final mystery item, the wooden box, was presented did I snap to attention. The doors burst open. Julian, the male lead, strode in and went straight to the stage. His presence silenced the room. He was buying the box no matter the cost. The seasoned crowd erupted into applause. Leo looked anxious. I grabbed a bidding paddle and fanned myself with it, pretending to be nonchalant. Once Julian won, he approached us, holding the box. Lana, listen, he said urgently. This box proves Leo is trying to frame me. He doesn't love you. He's been manipulative and cruel since he was a kid. Don't let him fool you. Lana's expression twisted in confusion. Leo shot Julian a cold glare, ready to speak. I leaned on my hand. Well then, I suggested, let's see what's inside. Julian smirked. I lost patience. Snatching the box from him, I ripped off the lid, and a flash of white spilled out. I yelped, dropping the box, and photos scattered across the floor. Julian, you're disgusting. Lana recoiled, taking a step back. In a blur, Leo covered my eyes and stomped on the photos. Don't look, Kristen. It's not clean. Julian stared, frozen. His assistant moved faster, scooping up the photos in seconds and returning them to the box. The comment feed exploded. The male lead just spent a fortune to buy his own nudes. Incredible. Wait, weren't the earrings the auction item? How did it turn into his nudes? Leo's protective instincts are too cute. This is messing with my head. Villain vibes on the hero vibes on the brother. I pushed Leo's hand away, suppressing a sly smile. Photoshop had saved the day. Julian, if you can't explain this reasonably, the partnership between our families is over. Lana grabbed our hands and stormed out. At the door, I paused, looking back at Julian. His gaze was as cold as it had been when he watched Leo kneel and scrub the floor as a child. I smiled sweetly. That box, it's a family heirloom from my grandfather. Now it's ruined. But, Lana whispered sympathetically, maybe he could pay you for it? I pretended to ponder. That works. Let's say 500,000. Fair, right? Her eyes widened. She turned to Julian. Pay her. Julian paled and grudgingly transferred the money. At home, I pulled the earrings from my purse, worried Leo would be upset about losing our mother's legacy. Kristen, aren't those Mom's earrings? I put them up for auction. How do you have them? Where else? I muttered. Leo scratched his head. The auction was for Lana's family. I didn't want her to lose face, so I auctioned them. Mom always said if I met a girl I wanted to spend my life with, I should give these to her. You're such a romantic, I whispered. Was the box really from our grandfather? I don't remember it, he asked. Well, it's an heirloom. I found it at the recycling center. Looked valuable, so I kept it. Leo's expression softened. He wanted to say something, but didn't. He went to his room. He's a true romantic. Not a villain. Pure-hearted. I ship it. And the sister? Selling a random box for $500,000. Legendary. Outside his door, I heard him on the phone with Lana. He sounded like a boy in love. With my little interference, the story had completely diverged from the comments' predictions. Relief washed over me. Just then, my phone buzzed, a confirmation for a flight I had booked. Time was slipping away. In 5 days, I would be leaving. I'd sold my little recycling business. My savings, plus the money I'd borrowed from Julian, totaled $600,000. Half of it went straight into Leo's account. Then my phone rang. It was Lana. Her sobs were so loud, she could barely speak. I assumed the young lovers had had a fight. Lana, don't cry, I said soothingly. Did that idiot brother of mine upset you? Don't worry, I'll deal with him. I'll, persuade him nicely. Her crying only worsened. Kristen, it's Leo. Something happened to him. It was like lightning striking me. In the taxi, my mind raced. Our only real enemies were Julian. Or maybe my father had finally decided to get rid of Leo. Or perhaps he'd been punished for not playing the villain like he was supposed to. The pop-up comments, silent until now, flared to life. Why is Kristen crying? Did her brother mess up again? He fakes an injury to get the female lead's sympathy. Then he tries to steal the male lead's rare panda blood. The male lead exposes him, and the brother kills himself to set them free. Kristen, run. Don't die too. I wiped my tears. Relief and fury tangled inside me. I tried calling Leo. No answer. So I texted casually, pretending nothing was wrong. Aren't you coming home to cook? I want sweet and sour ribs. Almost instantly, he replied, I wrote down all your favorite recipes in the kitchen cabinet. They're easy, you'll manage. Frustration mounted. I tried again. Come home and pick the seeds out of my dragon fruit. Already pitted in the fridge. Also, bought a bunch of new rugs. Numbers for the dry cleaner are on the shoe cabinet. I panicked, sending a final message. Leo, the kitchen knives are bleeding. Seriously. Scary. His reply, stay away. I'm coming now. Finally, he was abandoning his villainous plans to cook my dinner. Relief flooded me. Lana called a moment later. Leo was fine, just low on sugar, and on his way home. I was about to tell the driver to turn back, when a deafening crash hit. My world went black. I woke to find myself tied to a bed, and 4 needles in my wrist. Why mine? I wasn't rare blood type. The room was cluttered, dusty, but on the dresser sat a photo of Leo and me. I recognized the place. Our old childhood room. Awake? Feels like home, doesn't it, sister? Julian's voice dripped with silk-smooth menace. He leaned in the doorway, swirling a glass of red wine. He tossed 2 documents onto my chest. Sign these share transfer agreements, then call your useless brother to authorize his part. Do that, and I'll let you go. Whoa. The male lead just turned into a supervillain. Plot twist. The inheritance was supposed to go to the real kids, but he found out. Now he's forcing her to give it up. I forced a calm tone. Look, buddy, I don't care about some old man's inheritance. You want it? Take it. But maybe remove this needle first. I'm type B, not liquid gold. Julian paused, then twisted the 4-valve off. Happy. I sighed, signed the papers, and called Leo. He answered immediately, voice hoarse, teary. Kristen, where the hell are you? Weren't you supposed to be blown up by the kitchen? I made your ribs. Did you forget the way? He'd never used my full name before. It felt strange and weighty. I kept my tone casual. The old man wants to split his assets. Want any? It's yours. His panic broke. It's all yours. Just come back now. Julian notarized the agreements and left. Overwhelmed, I fainted again. 30 minutes later, I woke. The villa was empty. I dragged myself to the door, wondering why Leo hadn't rescued me. So much for the hero. Just as I opened it, a car screeched to a halt. Not Leo, but Julian. Behind him, running, were Leo and Lana. Julian, don't hurt her. Leo shouted, eyes fixed on me. I'll do anything. Lana, red-eyed and breathless, echoed. We'll give you everything. Just don't hurt Kristen. Julian sneered. Anything? Would you marry me? Lana froze, fists clenched, then whispered, yes. Let's get the license now. You'd marry him for her? Julian hissed, eyes blazing red. Just as Lana neared, the madness left him. He grabbed my wrist, pale with rage. I'm the male lead. You are supposed to be mine. Don't worry, as long as she and Leo sign the shares, I won't harm her. The pop-up comments exploded. Male lead my ass. Go find your own inheritance. The female lead's a true romantic. My heart. What was all my shipping for? Kristen, don't be scared. I'll hire a hitman. I already signed. I murmured, body limp. Julian scoffed. Your scribble isn't valid. Leo, sign yours. Leo didn't speak. Calmly, he took the agreement and signed, hand trembling slightly despite his composure. Once the papers were signed, Julian's eyes gleamed with triumph, and he finally stepped back. Without his support, I slumped, barely holding myself upright. Leo lunged forward, catching me in his arms. His body shook, a storm of relief, fear, and exhaustion. He pressed my head against his chest, holding me tightly, unable to speak. I was about to pass out from lack of air before I managed to break the silence. You trying to kill your own sister, you idiot? Before he could respond, an old man, surprisingly spry, emerged from the villa. He came up behind Julian and delivered a kick that sent him flying several feet. Not dead yet, you punk, he muttered. Pop-up comments erupted, suggesting Julian's scheduled demise had finally arrived. Before Julian could recover, the police swarmed, snapping a shiny pair of bracelets on his wrists. With the chaos settled, my body finally surrendered to exhaustion. Voices drifted into my foggy consciousness. Sister, I made your favorite sweet and sour ribs. Are you coming home for dinner? Sister, can you come to the parent-teacher conference tomorrow? Sister, my classmates say the giant pendulum ride is fun. Can we go? Sister, the top student gets a scholarship. If I get it, does that mean you won't have to work so hard and we can have dinner together? Sister, a girl said I stole her first-place spot and demanded I be her boyfriend. I said no. Did I do something wrong? Sister, my birthday wish this year is for you to go to the movies with me. Maybe I wasn't sincere enough. I'll try harder next year. I blinked through the haze. Sister, I don't need you to eat with me or go to the movies or ride rides. Just don't leave me. Please. The scene shifted, flickering. A young boy sat alone at a dining table. The food was cold. Bright yellow award certificates were stacked beside him. Pain stabbed through me, sharp and inexplicable. I wanted to ask who he was waiting for, but the boy vanished. Now a young man lay in bed, eyes hollow, a single tear sliding down his cheek. He'd been abandoned. I tried to ask who had left him, but he too disappeared, and darkness swallowed me. When I woke next, the sharp tang of disinfectant filled my nose. A white ceiling stretched overhead. A nurse spotted me and smiled. You're awake. Any discomfort? My hand hurts, I rasped. My left arm felt crushed under an invisible weight. The nurse smirked gently. Your brother hasn't left your side in 3 days. No food, no sleep. If you hadn't woken soon, we would have had to move him into the bed next to you. Following her gaze, I saw the source of the weight. Leo. He slept fitfully, tear-streaked cheeks and dark circles beneath his eyes. Stubble lined his jaw. He looked terrible. I dared not move, afraid to wake him. Half an hour later, he stirred, sat up, rubbed his eyes, muttering to himself and slapping his own head in frustration.
Stop that.
You're not that smart to begin with, I croaked. Leo froze, slowly lifting his gaze to meet mine. Then he quickly looked away, bowing his head and sitting perfectly still. My heart ached. I wanted to reach out, brush his hair back, but my arm refused to obey. I whispered hoarsely, "Come here." Moments later, a fluffy head rested in my palm. Warmth, wet and tender, trickled through my fingers. The combination of stress and blood loss had kept me asleep for 3 days. That afternoon, Lana arrived to take me home from the hospital. Her presence brought back memories of someone else. Kristen, do you want to see him? Leo asked, watching me nibble on an apple. I knew who he meant. A shadowy figure lingered outside the door, and I shook my head firmly.
No.
It's almost New Year's. He wants a family reunion, Leo added hesitantly. Before I could respond, the man entered on his own. I hadn't seen him in 10 years. He leaned on a cane, hair completely white. The old arrogance was gone. A gentle smile crinkled the corners of his eyes. Kristen, it's a new year. Come home with Dad. I've missed you both so much. I don't need your inheritance. I don't need you as a father, I said, smiling faintly. I stood and walked out, not glancing back. Leo followed quietly. 10 years ago, that night had marked the end of our father's presence in our lives. From then on, my family was only Leo. The day before our departure, I spent 2 hours in the kitchen and managed a passable bowl of egg noodles. Leo, come try this. He looked at it without expression. The joy I had expected was absent. Is it that bad? I asked, confidence faltering. He ate each bite slowly, methodically, as if it were a chore. Finally, he looked up, eyes glistening but holding back tears. If I finish this, you're leaving, aren't you? Do you think I'm a burdensome screw-up? That's why you don't want me anymore. I froze, realizing he knew. My travel alert pinged on the table. Leo, I said softly, voice thick with apology. I was selfish back then. I didn't take care of you properly. He sniffled, emotions he'd kept buried finally surfacing. You didn't take care of me, yet now you want to leave? Am I so annoying you have to run to England? I bit my lip, eyes welling. Everyone said my brother was cruel and vicious. But I know the real you. You've always been kind, responsible, and helpful. I couldn't give you a good life, no amusement parks, no proper meals together, no movies. I'm sorry, Leo. He shook his head, voice choked. I'm not mad. I chuckled softly, ruffling his hair. Holding the crumpled study abroad application, I said, I'm not leaving you behind. I just wanted to see if I could earn enough in England to support us both. Then, trying to be a little poetic, I added, let the world doubt you. Let them stare. Their suspicion is just flickers of light in the dark. You be brave. I'll walk this part of the road with you. Leo looked at the application, tears in his eyes, but a small smile on his lips. Okay. Leo didn't know I'd bought 3 plane tickets, not just one. When Lana and I guided him onto the plane, he was dazed, only fully realizing what was happening once we were in the air. Thanks to Lana, he'd learned both she and Leo had been offered study abroad. Leo had refused, claiming he couldn't leave me alone without someone to cook for me. His professor had been furious, but helpless. Leo was brilliant. Tuition waived, full scholarship. My tale of earning money abroad was a lie. I only wanted him to be brave and move forward. The road ahead was long but bright. 5 years later, we returned home, degrees in hand. Our father had passed away. Julian was sentenced to 20 years for assault and kidnapping. Clearly, our father had influenced the harsh sentence. The auntie had been expelled from the family. The lawyer informed us the estate belonged to Leo and me. I donated every cent without hesitation. Later, teasing him, I asked about wedding money.
He blushed.
I can marry into her family. Lana said she'd support me. Watching them together, I felt a mix of sweetness and bittersweet pride. I gave Leo my life savings, urging him to build his own path. Within 2 years, he became a rising star in business. Lana's parents adored him. On their wedding day, the hall was full. I held the bouquet, a bundle of blessings, ready to step into my own new journey. As I left, Leo looked at me, reluctant. Do you have to go? The world is big, I said. I want to see it. I had spent the first half of my life giving up for him. Now, the second half was mine. Months later, Leo sent a message. Sister, I bought you a villa. Want to see it? I ignored it. 8 months later. Sister, you have a niece now. Don't you want to meet her? I sent Lana a gift instead. A year later, he called. Sister, your niece misses you. She's not even eating. You have to cheer her up. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. That little brat. After returning from Paris, I visited my mother's grave, leaving a bouquet for my father on the way out. The sun was bright. The past was finally at rest. The flowers would bloom again.